are back with something new. I am one of your hosts, Amber Solaris, and welcome to the first ever season of Reign of Pain, where we dive into the edges of desire, thrill of endurance, with the art of sadomasochism and pain-related play. So, this is your space to explore, educate, power. Whether you're a seasoned player or you're just beginning your journey into this form of play. So pain play isn't just about sensation, it's about that sense of trust and connection and really transformation. Every episode here will shed light on different techniques, different explorations, journey. Of course, we'll talk about the safety stuff and the inner worlds of people who embrace the sting, the thud, and the different sensations while they surrender to seeing stars. So step into the night and embrace the unknown and find your own version of the Reign of Pain. And of course, as always, a little bit of a content warning. This is listener discretion advised. There is a content warning for potentially distressing topics. We will be discussing a multitude of adult-only topics here, and so you are encouraged to consider your own capacity before continuing.
Hey, amazing listeners, welcome back to my dungeon virtually. It's a weekend here and it's a really beautiful day. Beach weather. I'm sure the rest of the world is suffering with the cold. I have a very special human all the way from the UK who I'm sure is not experiencing beach weather today. Welcome to the studio, Mae, and it's so nice to have you. Thank you for joining us.
It's so nice to be here. You are correct. The sky is grey and cloudy here.
It's gonna be grey for the next 60, 90 days. Like it's just gonna be the answer to every question.
I don't think it'll ever end. It never feels like it does anyway.
We have these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful blue skies, and it's just perfect beach weather. Everybody, the family's at the beach, and they will be there until probably mid-January. And I won't recognize them when they come back. They'll just be brown raisins burnt to a crisp. But anyway, it's lovely. You are joining us for the Reign of Pain, and we're really excited to have you. And I know who you are because I have been stalking you on FetLife for long enough. And I love your work, and you have been an inspiration in my masochist journey. But obvious, our listeners don't know who you are. So maybe you can just tell them how you stopped being a muggle in the vanilla world and found kink and what it is in your life currently.
Brilliant. So hello, I am Mae. I'm Mae Daze on the online spheres. I found kink about 6 and a bit years ago, actually through a university friend. Very, very dodgy situation. But yeah, so I found kink, and the most thing I do at the moment is I do sharps. I haven't really done any. I do other things, but majority of my interests are sharps, and always have been. I think when the moment I found sharps was we were going to a local, it was like an introductory play party thing that like the community can just go to where I'm at in the UK. And and all my friends that I was with were like, oh, don't go into that section's scary. And I don't like being told things are scary. I don't like being told that I shouldn't go into places. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go over there all by myself. And I found sharps, and it was a little sharp zone in a nightclub. And I was like, oh, cool, this is where I want to be. And I just loved it from that second. I had the very start of sort of like different size gauges in my arm put in, and I was like, yeah, this is good. And then I went back about 40 minutes later, and I was gonna have some more, and they're like, okay, well, this is your first time ever doing this, so maybe not. So I had to go back an hour later, and then I was like, okay, can I have some more? And then I've just sort of not stopped. So I started off as a bottom with sharps, and I made friends of people at these sort of groups and stuff that would pierce me, and then as pandemic came, I started self-piercing. And I think that's where you probably know me from most, because most of my things that have gone a bit more like exciting, that's my excited sound, sorry. Most things that have got a bit more exciting are actually my self-stabs. But yeah, so I'm really happy to hear that I inspired you in your masochistic journey. That's really cool to hear.
I think you've always written quite authentically, and I think, and this is totally personal, own personal old lady issues, but being a masochist in the Fed Life world is it's hard to show up sometimes. Like it's something that there is a lot of valor and a lot of specified ingredients that go into making a masochist on FetLife. And I think it was the one word that I spent a long time avoiding in my journey. Like, and I am such a masochist. I'm a masochist in my vanilla life. I choose the most difficult way to do things. The most painful way possible is the way that I will pick in every aspect of my life. It's just who I am. And yet it's taken me so many years to be able to say, that's a role that I assigned to my kink world. There's some big shoes to fill, I think, when you join the community, and there's an implied version of the role, and it can be quite intense and quite you feel a bit like an imposter for a long time. So I felt less imposterish, and I think the Sharps community is also just really special and welcoming. So yeah, lots of support there.
There's lots of support in the Sharps community. I've been actively a part of posting Sharps for about 6 years, as I said. Probably, oh, sorry, something's beeping. About 6 years. And it's really helped me. It's helped me build confidence. It's helped me not feel as much of a freak for wanting to bleed and wanting to be on FetLife. And I see other realms of community on there, like I don't really want to name any, but you know, like other kinks and stuff, and I don't feel as much welcome in them. But it's interesting you keep mentioning masochism, because I'm not actually a masochist. I don't feel pain properly, so I don't feel like a masochist because I don't enjoy pain. I feel more like emotional masochist, but that's not what I'm really very known for. I'm definitely known for my sharps, but I don't feel them, which is quite interesting. I don't know why. I feel heat and I feel pressure, which explains other parts of the way I explore the world, but I don't feel needles or sharps, or lately hooks. They were quite cool. I don't feel any of those things as pain, so that's quite interesting.
That's so interesting. Yet you still process it like a painful experience, and you still articulate the healing side of the journey.
So I still have the effect on my body, but my brain doesn't process it as pain at all. It just doesn't. So I've been in pain with other things, but I don't. So I know what pain feels like. Like heat feels like pain to me, like burning, scalding. I will be hysterical. It hurts. I don't like it. But sharps, my body feels it more than my brain does. So I there's a whole distinction between what makes you, is it your body, your soul, your mind, that sort of thing. We don't need to get into that, but like at the same time, I don't feel like I feel pain. I feel like my body processes it differently to my brain, and I feel like I'm my brain. Sorry, we're gonna get very deep on a Saturday.
No, it's very deep for a Saturday. It's very deep for any day of December. I'm just going to put that up. And the world feels crazy. It feels like everyone's gone mad. And what is the release like for you?
I think I get more excitement than release. I think the release is definitely blood. Like I am a massive blood fetishist. I think it's so just intoxicating and gorgeous, and oh God. Some of my earliest like fantasies that weren't, but no, actually, I think my only earliest fantasies I had were all related around blood and stuff, and that's quite interesting. Um, but yeah, the release is definitely the artwork, and the after effects that I like are definitely artwork and the blood. And I just love bleeding. I just love bleeding free. Oh my God, so much. Like when it runs down my legs and stuff, if I've had like my legs or my hips pierced or something, and it pours down, it goes in my knees. Oh my God. No, you need to calm down.
I'm so glad to talk to somebody on a Saturday who feels the same way I do about blood. Because it's one of those awkward conversations that how do you just phone someone up and say, I just want to feel blood running down my legs in the bath.
Yeah.
Like there is no way to make that sound like it's not terrifying.
Ill.
Um
Yeah.
that you should be scared of the human that's phoning you and asking you to
Yeah.
join them in this journey. So it's really reassuring to speak to someone else who likes blood as much as I do. I quite like it on my face though. My face is my favorite bit
I
of blood.
I don't really have the lifestyle outside of stuff to do face stuff. So when I have the opportunity, I have done face stuff, and then it's normally a mistake because I've still got bruises 2 weeks later, and I'm like, damn it. But yeah, so that's quite funny. But yeah, I love it everywhere. I love it. Just the warmth of it as well. I don't like it when it congeals because I'm not very good with congealing stuff. And slime and things, not for me. But just the idea of just bleeding free and like feeling so comfortable in myself. I mean, it makes me feel more me. Like I identify on Vet Life as a creature. That's my role thing that I've put on there, among many. Um, and creature, I definitely feel more like a creature when I'm bleeding or when I'm marked. So markings is another big thing for me, like permanent markings. At the moment, I'm looking at my chest, not weirdly, but I'm looking at my chest because I have these like mini hook marks I had from like, I think they were eight, eight, 8 gauge from the hook side. They're like 14 gauge piercings. And I have them on my chest, and I absolutely love them. I've never felt more attractive than being covered in blood and marks, and I just feel more me. It's quite interesting.
I um I so relate to what you say about being attractive. The marks make me feel attracted too. The marks make me feel beautiful.
Yeah.
The needles make me feel beautiful. I never feel more beautiful than when I'm covered in little sharp steel needles.
Yeah.
And they don't have to even have a plan. They can just be chaotic. And then to be covered in the blood afterwards it's just such a privilege. It's just my best ever.
I really
Um,
enjoy that.
hey, right? It's just amazing. Um,
Bit I do differ with though is when I like having because I mark quite easily, so I scar very easily. I personally find it quite tricky to have um non-purposeful markings. So like if it was just a chaos piercing and I had marks all over the place, I don't like that so much because it doesn't feel as pretty. Whereas if you look through all my pictures on Pet Life and stuff, you'll see I have a lot of patterns, I have a lot of shapes and words and marks that make sense. Um, like they make like artistic sense almost. Not that art has to make sense, but you know what I mean. Um,
yeah.
yeah, so I definitely need more structure than not. But I love how everyone does everything differently. I do also feel very pretty with them in me, but I need them to be pretty, and because I don't get anything out of the pain of them, there's no point for me to just have chaos and painful needles. So I generally just do art, which is kind of where I think most people know me from, is artistic self-stab. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
I love that, and I never even thought that needles could exist without the pain. It's such an interesting process for my head to, and you've told me this, it's not like this is the first time we've had this conversation.
No,
Just the first
yeah.
time my old brain has gone, oh, those pieces all go together in that puzzle. That's the
Yeah.
corner. There you go. Um, it's just so interesting, but your work is just beautiful, and I love what you do, and I love how you talk about it, and that you've always been so authentic.
Thank you.
Um, and I think the other thing that I have also got from your writings is your ability to articulate the healing side of things and to talk about that and to always bring that up.
Yeah.
So notice,
Healing's very important to
yeah,
me because it makes me slow down, and I'm kind of on a go fast all the time. And having to look after myself is a good reminder that I need to. Like, it sounds really stupid because, of course, like empty yourself means you have to look after yourself, but like, it keeps me steady and level, knowing that I've had this good time, I've had this fun, I've had this like I've bled, and then I have to look after myself. I have to eat good food. I have to, I don't know, going blank now. Bandage myself up. I have to wash in a certain way. I can't do certain things. Like it makes me feel better knowing that I have to look after myself. It's
I am
a little
100%
ADHD trick, I reckon.
100% behind you. It's the sharps has been one of the most empowering things in my world, and not because of the sharp side of it, but just because I wake up every morning knowing I've got to care for myself 10% more.
Yeah.
And just being aware that I am forefront in the list of things to be prioritized. And that's changed in how I look after myself, and it's given me a way better quality of life.
Yeah, it has. And like drinking more fluid so you can bleed better just helps your brain and body and makes you feel more alive. And it's all these like little things that add up, and you don't realize they add up until you've added them all up and they're suddenly added, and you're like, oh, yeah, I did that.
Right? And you couldn't force me to open a bottle of water and take a sip. But if you give me my bottle and I know that I have a piece coming up and that I'm prepping for it, I will
Yeah.
happily drink 3 liters of water without even thinking about it.
Whoa,
It's not an
that's
issue.
really cool.
So it's definitely changed. It's changed. Like, I mean, I only have one skin and I pierce it a lot. So I have to look after it well.
Yeah.
And I also like the sun, so it's a problem. I love the sun. I could just live on a rock like a lizard.
Oh, I'm
Um,
opposite to you. I cannot stand the heat.
I love it.
It's
Love
part
it.
of my issues with feeling heat as pain. I just don't like it. I prefer being cold all the time. I need to be cold.
You would die here. It's we have summer for probably 8 months of the year. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
And
I'd probably not be happy.
no, you would be in a dark hole in the corner. Um,
Little cave, this little creature cave.
That's okay. We have wine cellars. We're a big wine,
Oh,
so we have lots of wine cellars. So there's lots of room for creatures who like the dark. We can accommodate you. They do not fear.
if I ever come over, I'll come find your wine cellar then.
I'm excited about your class. What are you talking to us about?
I am talking to you about a lot of what we've already talked about, but more in depth. So how I see the world and how not the world, the kink and sharps world, and how I see it between the interactions between art and masochism, which is something I don't do. And how I see things like self-harm as well, which I also don't do. I have I think as all of us who've been interested in things like this, we probably have been not accused. I don't want to say accused, but like assumed to be a self-harmer. I know I've had assumptions to my face like that. So it's the intersection between masochism, not masochism, art, self-harm, things like that. I'm obviously, well, not obviously, it's not obvious to anyone. I'm not a medical professional, but I have just picked up a load of knowledge on my journey, and that is what I'm going to be presenting on.
Amazing. We love it. And your journey has been so authentic, and you shared it so authentically, and it has touched others across oceans. Look at me in Africa.
Brilliant, thank you.
And I loved your Rain of Blood recording. I really,
With the
really
art one, I was trying to do a really philosophical one, and then I
loved
quite
it.
enjoyed
I
it.
thought it was amazing. It was just too short. I just wanted it to go on forever. Like, I could have watched that and had comfort food and just had a really great hour out of my head. It was fantastic, but it wasn't. It was just too short. So
It was a bit too short. I panicked on the day and spoke too fast, I believe. I'm going to definitely work on that for the next one.
okay, we'll do it together. Don't stress. We love having you, and thank you for being involved in our lives and for choosing to spend your time with us and our platform.
Well,
And I
thank
hope,
you so much. I wish you all the best.
yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.
Yes, you too. Enjoy the sun. I'm so jealous. Well, not massively. I'm jealous that it's not grey clouds.
And to all my own listeners out there, if you don't have your tickets, I don't know what you're doing with your life. We have an early bird special at the moment. Get your tickets. If you need a scholarship, get hold of us. We have a scholarship program as well. We have a full BIPOC scholarship for all of our events at the moment. We hope you're having a very good December with your friends and your family. We're sending you lots of love from the Rain of Blood family, and we look forward to talking to you soon from my dungeon in a really beautiful 36 degrees C. I'm going to the beach. Have a good rest of your day. Lots of love and kitten kisses.